Okay, this time we're chatting about The Nightingale by Kristin Hannah.
Great.
Do you have a signed copy?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I'm jealous. I did not get one of those. I don't think. No, I didn't.
Trick.
Cool. This is a fiction story, though it could have been real in a sense. It follows two sisters, Isabel and Vivian, or Vivian.
Yeah.
Vivi, yeah. It follows them during World War II and the German occupation of France. So they're living in France, they're French citizens, and it follows what they experienced when the Nazis invaded, how they coped with a lot of those changes, if and why they joined the resistance, and how they helped with that, and also their father as well. And he was kind of like woven into their stories too throughout. I say overall, it's kind of interesting because I would say like a historical fiction book, but it also
Yeah.
has some like action in there, some romance in there. It hits on a lot of those genres.
Some like drama, like the spy aspect, I would say
Mhm.
is kind of, I don't
Yeah.
know, dramatic, mystery. I don't know.
Some suspense. Yeah.
Yeah, suspense. That's good.
Mhm. I really liked how it started out in like modern day in a sense. It was like the 90s, I believe.
Yeah.
And then it flips back to when the war is going on. So you kind of see this modern day like take from one of their perspectives, and then where all of their like story began, and follows you kind of like going back and forth between the two stories. What did you read it, Anne?
I rated it an A minus.
Mm-hmm.
Really like this one for historical fiction. I feel like we've been reading a lot of these World War II historical fictions, but it was super good. I liked how like the whole time you're reading, it's kind of it's like her memory. She's telling a story of the past, and you think it's one sister,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not. And you're like,
Yeah,
really thought it was the other one the whole time until the very end.
that was a huge plot twist. I
Yeah.
I had no idea. I did not expect that at all.
hmm I thought there were a few really good plot twists.
Mm-hmm.
Like the dad, you originally think he's helping the Germans,
Mm-hmm.
and then he's not. You better mark this as spoilers.
Yeah, tons of spoilers.
Yeah. So you totally think that he's like helping the Germans and he's like gonna rat her out and
Mm-hmm.
all, and then you find out that he was actually the one that kind of got her or like gave her name to the like leader of their rebellion.
Mm-hmm. Have you read any other books by Kristen Hannah?
I have not.
I haven't either, but I've heard really good things about The Four Winds. Um,
Okay.
have you heard of it?
Mm.
So it's, from what I understand, similar to this in the sense of it's fiction, but it follows something that potentially could have happened. But that time period is on the Dust Bowl.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's on a story that follows that time. So I do want to read that.
That's Grapes of Wrath is the Dust Bowl, right? Or is
I
that
think so.
or that's the same? I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe I'll pick it for a future book. I rated it a solid A. I thought the writing was really good. I will say it
Mhm.
again for probably the thousandth time. I love short chapters. I like things
Yes.
that I think my attention span is just small these days, but I like being able to read in like bite-sized pieces. But this one you also got pulled in to where like you wanted to read that next chapter, and then you're like, oh well, the next one's only 2 pages. I can keep reading.
hmm
So I love that. The writing phenomenal, the storyline, the twist. Like you didn't really know exactly what was going to happen. I couldn't predict everything that was going to happen in this book like I could with some others. And I really like the time period. I think it's fascinating learning about World War II and what people might have went through at that time, because it's one of those things that it actually did kind of happen in our lifetime in a sense that you can kind of grasp. what it might have been like. Um, and then third reason I rated this all day was because it made me cry. Which I
Yes.
don't normally do with books. But I definitely use like the last 40 pages of this, had to read in private. I was like watching TV with Ross, like, I need to leave because I'm bawling over here and it's very awkward.
Yeah, same. I have the same reaction to the end.
Mm-hmm.
I also thought they did like a really good job of, or she did a good job of, like, you really could tell like the struggles they went through, like all the food and all that's like all the stuff, the way she described it, you'd actually feel like you were like there.
Yeah. And the character development through it of like where Isabel started out and where she ended up, like you couldn't help but like on some ways see like her true self, like that she started out with, but the really like strong woman that she became, and also her sister too, like really great character development. Like though she was more frustrating,
Yes.
still like ended up being a really good part of the story.
Mm-hmm.
But I would highly recommend it. And it was, I
Yeah.
think if we wouldn't have read this in book club, we would have read it really quick. But just having the
Yes.
amount of pages per week drug it out. But I think if I would have read it on my own, I probably would have finished it in like 2 or 3 weeks, if that.
Yeah. It's about 400 pages.
Yeah.
Not huge. I mean, I bet you could read it in a week.
Yeah. If I quit my job, have more free time.
Yeah. I think it would be a quick read, and it's a standalone, so.
Mm-hmm. I do want to read more of her work. Like after reading this one, I um, definitely would read other books by her.
Was this the one we looked up and there were more, or am I thinking of something completely different?
I think it's this one to where it like says they're like sequels, but I think it's like this genre to where she like tells a story that happened during like an event. Like,
Yeah, I think when I looked it up, they were different characters. Like it wasn't the same people over and over. It was like different. Yeah.
yeah. But this is being made into a movie with those two sisters. Apparently, they're starring in it. Fannings, Dakota
Oh,
Fanning and Elle Fanning. They're going to be the two sisters in the book. I think it comes out late next year, if I
oh,
remember correctly.
that'll be cool.
Mm-hmm. I'm excited. But good book. Go read it.
Yeah.
I recommend. We got A's from both of us. I think all of Book Club would rate it an A. I think everyone liked it.
Yeah. I don't think, yeah, even the boys liked it.
Yeah,
So,
that's true. Cool. That's it.